Hi, folks. I hope you're well. This is another video, unfortunately, about the man Craig Mackay, the man in charge of the filling station in Elgin. I find it quite disturbing that the filling station doesn't really care as to whether or not the person who actually runs the filling station in different areas is of God or not. They don't care whether what is being brought is of the devil or God. That I find a little bit concerning. Well, because I pointed out to him that, on Friday it was interesting. It was different. The energy was different. Inviting people forward to share was nice, risky. As on a number of occasions, people would have come and brought things forward saying, oh, God has said when God hadn't said. I gave that as an example of the man who said that God had asked him to pray that the gates of heaven would be opened when the gates of heaven have never been closed. It's blinking obvious that man was never told by God to pray that. Never. It's a very, very popular thing to claim that God has asked you to pray. Why? Because it's basically saying that God is opening the gates of heaven upon this meeting. It's bullshit. It is simple. It's bullshit. It's crap. It's a lie. It's said to get a bit of applause or a pat on the back, but it's a lie. So again, why people say it, I don't know, but it's a common thing for people to claim, right? Okay. But again, okay, it is what it is. Yeah. So Craig replied. He said that he thought I turned the corner. But he says I seem to be back to partnering with a very critical spirit. So if you see someone bringing something that is obviously not of God, you should never speak up. If you do, you're partnering with a very critical spirit. Well, excuse me. I then asked him, is he saying that Yeshua was partnering with a very critical spirit, as in demonic spirit, when he was saying that the religious people were doing things that were wrong? When he was critical of what they were saying and what they were doing, because he was very critical of them. Well, I've actually said the reality is he is someone who would be cheering to crucify the Son of God. Craig Mackay, he would be cheering to crucify the Son of God. And this is the person in charge of the filling station, which is supposed to be this event for anyone of any church to come to and worship God together. And you've got this man who would be delighted if he would have been there with the nature he's got now. He would have been cheering to crucify the Son of God, because he would have joined with the crowd, because he wouldn't want to offend people. People asking for things that's demonic, oh, he'd be right in there. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, let's cheer for that. It's horrible. And then he went on to say, what has he said? Back here. Well, he said basically he wanted to see if I can stay in a good place of trusting others and being trusted. But who? There is no others. What? Trusting others and being trusted by others? What do you... No, not in a place like that. In a place where they think safe space is important. Well, this is the way he finished it, right? The way he finished his message. He says, sorry, I really thought we could build community, but if you are going to judge everyone that has the courage to be vulnerable, then this isn't a safe space anymore. First of all, pointing out that one person said that God had said something that God hadn't said because God wouldn't lie is now judging everyone, right? And again, pointing out that judging those who have the courage to be vulnerable. So again, that's stupidity. If someone has the courage to be vulnerable, it's like with the River Church all those years ago, when that old man come up and said the things that were just ridiculous, not biblical in any way, shape, or form, just, with no understanding of God. And people were giving him a pat on the back because he made himself vulnerable. He had the courage to be vulnerable and come up and present a message. Therefore, we've got a pat on the back, even though what he said was not of God. And they said, well done. People were saying, well done for this man bringing a message, saying that God had said, pray for something that God had never said to pray about. And you're not supposed to say what he said was wrong, because it's a safe space. I didn't confront the man. I didn't point out to the man, you are of the devil because you just bought something that you were claiming that God said and you lied. You therefore are a false prophet. You should be going outside and being stoned. If this was the olden days and the law was different as it was then, you'd be stoned now. I didn't say any of that. Was he putting himself forward as a false prophet? Yes. But Craig Mackay thinks it's good to support false prophets. Why? I don't know. Obviously, in his life, he's chosen to be left-wing. He's chosen to be safe space. And again, why is it people cannot understand? Matthew 7:13-14 talks about the paths and says the easy path is the one that leads to destruction. Right? The word easy is there. That path is wide and therefore more comfortable. It's not like this. All bumpy and craggy where you're going to, it's not so easy to walk. It's not like that. And the path that we're supposed to be on, the hard path, is far worse than this. You see there are brambles that can cut you. Again, the path that we're on is far worse than this. Far worse. I don't think those particular bushes would cut you, but just imagine they would, right? The path that we are on, the one leading to life, is far worse than this path you can see in the video. And yet, they are very much talking about the path that leads to destruction as being the one of God. I've said before, it's insane. Absolutely insane. That people have this idea that the demonic path, the path to hell, is the one to heaven. As to Craig Mackay, I wish him well on that path. I know where it leads. I'm not going to try and help him to change his path because he will never listen. He won't. He's on his path. He's chosen it. He chose it a long time ago. But the reality is, people should avoid the filling station. And the people in charge of the filling station should remove this man from it completely. Have him have nothing to do with it. If that means the filling station closes down this area, then it closes down. It's better to have no filling station, to have a filling station led by someone who doesn't care whether it's God or the devil that's being presented. It's better to have no filling station whatsoever in the area. But obviously the people that run the filling station, they probably have the same attitude he has right now. Therefore, it's a demonic organization, if that's the case. As a lot are. A lot of such places were started for good purposes and were started by, wanting to glorify God, wanting to worship God together in the right way. And they've just been perverted by people coming in. But as I say, the reality is, if you have people coming into church and staying in church that are of bad ground, that aren't bearing fruit, this is what you have. This is the result of what you get. I mean, the message from Craig was ridiculous. When I read it, I was thinking, excuse me. Again, you point out one person saying something's wrong, and suddenly I'm saying that everyone is wrong and I'm right. And I'm saying that basically he can say that I'm judging everyone by that. Yeah, talk about a left wing. That's completely cancel culture. Completely. Well, there you go. You take